So if you have a home loan and let us say all of a sudden you get 5 lakh rupees, maybe through dividends or maybe through bonus, the main question is what should you do with this 5 lakh rupees? Should you use this 5 lakh rupees to prepay your home loan, or should you rather invest this money maybe in mutual funds or stock market or Bitcoin or bonds or FDs, whatever works for you. Some of you may say that, Rahul, it's always good to prepay our loans. That is one point of view. Some may say that it is always beneficial to invest in Indian market, mutual funds, etc. That is another point of view. But the truth lies somewhere in between, because we are going to look at maths as well as emotions together to decide what makes sense for every individual, because every individual is very, very different when it comes to their emotions as well as their ability to generate returns from various instruments. And for me to run you through the maths plus emotions, I am going to look at 4 simple scenarios. Extremely simple language I will use. I'm going to throw some numbers at you, but extremely simple language, so that even a 10th standard student will also understand this. So what are these 4 scenarios? Allow me literally 2 to 3 minutes. Let me first set the scene and the context. Let us assume that you have a loan, home loan, let's say 50 lakh rupees. Let's say the interest rate on this home loan is 8% per year. The duration of this loan is, let us assume, 20 years. So the loan starts in January 2026 and it finishes in December 2045, 20 years of loan period. Your EMI in this case will come out to be around 41,800 rupees, meaning that in these 20 years you are going to pay total 1 crore. 50 lakh rupees is going to be total capital that you're going to pay back, and remaining 50 lakh rupees of interest you are going to pay, which is spread over 20 years. Now there are 4 scenarios here. Scenario number 1 is, let us say that after 2 years of this loan, you have 5 lakh rupees and you want to decide whether you should prepay this loan or whether you should invest this somewhere. Scenario number 2 will be that you have this 5 lakh rupees after 5 years of this loan period starts. Scenario number 3 will be after 10 years you have 5 lakh rupees and you want to decide whether you should prepay this loan or whether you should invest. And last scenario number 4 is that after 15 years of this loan, what do you want to do? Should you prepay your loan or should you invest in the stock market? For each of these 4 scenarios, I am going to first go through the maths with you in terms of taxation, investments, a lot of things, and then we are going to overlay that maths with emotions. It's going to be super interesting conversation and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. If you don't know me, my name is Rahul Jain. I'm a SEBI registered research analyst and a finance content creator. Whatever I speak on this channel is going to be all data backed. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider subscribing to this channel. With that, let me now break down each of these scenarios for you. So let's start with scenario number 1. Let us assume that your loan amount is 50 lakh rupees, your interest rate is 8% and you've taken this loan for 20 years. Hypothetically, your loan starts in January 2026, it finishes in December 2045. Now scenario 1 is that after 2 years of this loan, you have 5 lakh rupees and you have now 2 choices. Choice number 1 is that you can prepay your home loan will reduce. And second choice is that you invest this 5 lakh rupees somewhere, maybe in mutual funds, stock market, Bitcoin, gold, whatever suits you, and you can generate some returns. And we need to compare both of these choices. Now we are going to compare these 2 choices based on maths as well as emotions. So let me first speak about the maths so that we understand the data. For me to do comparison of both the choices on maths basis, I am going to assume that after 20 years, you're going to have your home. You're not going to have any home loan. And this 5 lakh rupees, it is going to impact your cash flows in both the choices. How will it impact your cash flow in both the choices? Let's go choice by choice. So choice 1 is that you are going to prepay your home loan after 2 years. Bank will simply say to you that, Mr. Jain, you can continue to pay your EMIs. That's fine. But because you're making this prepayment of 5 lakh rupees, your loan period will get reduced. By how much? They will do some calculations and they will say to you that you can finish your loan in the month of May 2042, which is almost 3.5 years ahead of your original schedule. You're going to finish your loan 43 months earlier. You say that you're fine with it and you take that option. Now what happens in this choice is that by May 2042, your EMIs finishes. You continue to pay your EMIs up until May 2042. On May 2042, your EMI finishes. Between May 2042 to December 2045, this is the period where these EMIs that were going out, they stop going out. 41,800 rupees becomes available to you every single month which you're not going to leave in a bank account. You're going to invest it somewhere. And let's say that you do SIPs, and these SIPs are generating, let's say, 12% returns. By the end of December 2045, these SIPs will give you total 22,55,000 rupees at 12% interest rate. Now, of course, there is going to be a capital gain on which you have to pay tax. How much capital gain? It's going to be around 4,57,000. Now, I'm going to assume 12.5% of long-term capital gain that you have to pay on 4,57,000 rupees. It comes out to be around 57,000 rupees. Meaning that after you pay the tax, you will be left with around 21,98,000 rupees. Let's say mota mota you get 22 lakh rupees and you get your home as well, which is now loan free. That is choice number one. And within the choice number one, you have 12% of rate of return. What happens if you generate 10%? Because these returns could vary from person to person. And that is where individuals' capabilities come into picture. Let us say that you are able to generate 12% return, but I generate 10%. So what will my cash flow look like? So at 10%, I will get total 21,70,000 rupees. Out of which 3,72,000 rupees will be capital gain. I'll pay tax on it at 12.5%. It comes out to be around 46,000 rupees. Net, I get 21,23,000, less than what you got. Third situation could be 8% rate of return. At 8%, I will get 20,88,000, capital gain of 2,90,000, and the long-term capital gain tax is 36,000, meaning I will have 20,52,000 rupees. Now, this is total maths. I've given you situations of 12%, 10%, 8%. It could be anything, but these three are very, very reasonable projections depending on individuals' capabilities. Now, let us compare this math with choice 2. Choice 2 maths is extremely simple. After 2 years, the 5 lakhs that you have, you're not going to touch your home loan. It'll continue as per the normal EMIs. It'll finish in December 2045. But this 5 lakh rupees after 2 years, you're going to invest. And you're going to invest it for 18 long years. Very, very important point, 18 long years here. Okay. Now let's say that you are able to generate 12% rate of return on this. If you do that, you're going to have around 38,44,000 by the end of December 2045. The capital gain here will be around 33,44,000. A lot of this is capital gain. Therefore, you will end up paying around 4,11,000 rupees of long-term capital gain. Again, going with the same assumption that it is 12.5%. Again, these calculations may change depending on the long-term capital gain tax. But mota you are going to get here 34,26,000 rupees at the end of December 2045. Now, if you compare this with exactly the same option we had in choice 1 at 12%, you see a massive difference from a maths perspective. 22 lakh, almost 22 lakh versus 34 lakh. This is post-tax. Please understand. This is post-tax. You're going to get almost 12 lakh rupees more. Now you would say that, Rahul, you know what? These are all maths. I would rather prepay my home loan. Now here is what you need to also understand. In choice 1, the calculations we have done at 12%, this is only for 3.5 years of time period between May 2042 to December 2045. This is a shorter period. And please understand, generating 12% returns or the possibility of generating 12% return for 3.5 years of duration versus in choice 2, generating 12% over 18 years of long period, which one is more practical? In my view, choice 2. Because longer you leave your money to compound, better you have chances to create wealth. In shorter duration, you do not know how the market will behave, because for 12%, you have to go with equity as a vehicle. You can't really look at FDs, corporate bonds, etc. You will have to look at equities either via mutual funds or stocks. And in choice 1, 3.5 years is shorter period, and therefore the chances of you generating 12% in my view is lesser as compared to generating 12% over 18 years. That's what I personally feel. And therefore, even if you look at emotions or maths both, in my view, choice 2 makes a lot of sense, provided you are able to generate 12% rate of return. It is not guaranteed. It depends on your abilities or my abilities. I may be able to generate or I may not be able to generate. So you have to decide for yourself whether you have the appetite to generate 12% or not. Secondly, you also have to ask yourself that emotionally, if you're leaning towards prepaying your loan, which is the choice 1, does it mean that you do not believe in India's stock market? Or does it mean that you do not want to have any worryful nights? You want to just sleep tight. That is the decision you have to make. But in my view, 18 years is such a long period of time, because remember, even if you make choice 1, your loan will continue up until May 2042. So you're not going to get rid of your loan for almost 17 years or 16 and a half years. So your loan will still continue, right? So the choice you will have to make here is a balance of maths plus emotions. If I were to make that decision in this particular example, it has to be choice 2. Let us now calculate for 10% and 8% for choice 2. So for choice 2, if you generate 10% returns, then your total corpus will be 27,80,000 rupees roughly. 22 lakh rupees, 80,000 rupees will be capital gain. You will pay tax on it around 2,84,000. Mota you will get around 25 lakh rupees. 24,94,000. 25 lakh rupees is what you will get versus 21,23,000. Still, it makes sense in my view, both maths wise and emotion wise, to go with choice 2. Then comes the final, which is at 8% rate. At 8%, your corpus will be around 20 lakh rupees roughly. The capital gains will be around 15 lakh rupees and your long-term capital gain will be roughly 1,87,000 rupees, meaning you will only have 18 lakh rupees of corpus by the end of December 2045. In choice 1, you had around 20 lakh rupees. So clearly, maths wise, clearly emotions wise, I would say choice 1 is much better. Prepay your home loan, because here you're only generating 8% returns, which is not giving you any much benefits. So you rather prepay your home loan. Let me now quickly show you the final calculations for scenario number 2, scenario number 3 and scenario number 4. Rather than showing you all the calculations, I'll just tell you the final outputs. I've done the calculation so that we can save some time. Scenario number 2 was that after 5 years, you have 5 lakh rupees and you have to decide whether you want to prepay your loan or whether you want to invest this money. Now, in this case, if you go with choice number 1, which is prepaying your loan will finish 35 months earlier. It will finish by January 2043. And the calculations are for choice number 1, at 12%, you will have 17,23,000 post-tax. In choice 2, the equivalent number will be 24,56,000. So clearly, choice 2 is much better. It is going to give you almost 7 to 8 lakh rupees more. If I talk about 10% returns, then in choice 1, it is 16,75,000 versus 18,90,000 rupees. The difference has now reduced. In my view, in such case, it is better to prepay your loan. Why? Because A, it's a 10% rate of return, which is much more manageable, that you can generate over shorter period of time, which is 35 months versus the longer period of time. So in both cases, it works. And also the amount difference is not huge here. It's almost, I would say, give and take 2 lakh rupees. So not a huge amount difference. I would go definitely with prepay option. Third situation at 8%. In choice 1, it is 16,29,000 versus 14,50,000. So clearly choice 1 is a better option from a maths perspective, from an emotions perspective. Let's move to scenario number 3 now, which is you have 5 lakh rupees after 10 years of your loan duration. Almost 50% of your loan has been paid, and now you want to decide what to do with 5 lakh rupees. So in this scenario, at 12%, you will have 11,22,000 versus 14,21,000 rupees in choice 2. In my view, still choice 2 is much better option. If you go with 10%, it is going to be 11 lakh versus 11,97,000 rupees. Not a huge difference at all. I would definitely go with prepay. At 8%, 10,80,000 rupees versus 10,07,000 rupees. Almost equivalent. I would any time go and prepay my loan. Then comes the final scenario, which is after 15 years of your loan period, you have 5 lakh rupees. In this example, your loan will finish by December 2043, which is only 16 months earlier. At 12% return, you will see that your total corpus you will build in choice 1 will be 7,21,000 versus 8,33,000 rupees. Not a huge difference at all. I would rather prepay my loan and be peaceful. At 10% returns in choice 1, 7,12,000 versus 7,66,000 rupees. Not much difference at all. I would definitely prepay. In case of 8% in choice 1, 7,03,000 versus 7,05,000 rupees. Neck to neck, I will definitely go and prepay my loan. So what we have used is a lot of data here, which is maths we have done. Also, we have looked at our emotions. We have to find the balance between maths and emotions. Your decision may be different from my decision. But essentially what it boils down to is 2-3 factors here. Factor number 1 is your individual's ability to generate returns from somewhere from your investments, whether it is 12%, 10%, 8%, how much more you can generate from your home loan rate. In these example scenarios, we have taken 8% as the interest rate for home loan. If you're able to generate, let's say 12%, which is 4% alpha, then in my view, investment makes more sense. But if you can't generate 4%, if it's only 1%, 2%, 3%, then it's better to prepay your home loan, because the numbers are telling us there is not going to be huge difference post tax. You have to consider the tax here. I have taken long-term capital gain of 12.5%. The second parameter here you have to also understand is the timing of this prepayment, whether it is after 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years, right? In the beginning, if you are making a prepayment, what the data is telling us is that if you're able to generate higher returns, let's say 12%, it's better to invest because you have long term to allow compounding to happen. But if it is going to be lower rate of return, then it doesn't matter. It is better to maybe prepay, depending on how much of prepayments you can make. These scenarios give you some things to work at. Please do not take these as blind recommendations. I've given you my perspective on these calculations. I may be totally wrong. I may not have the same frequency as yours. You might be thinking absolutely different. You might say that, you know what, in all the scenarios, I want to only prepay my home loan. I want to sleep tight in the night without having any burden. That's a call that you can make. Nobody's really forcing you to really go and look at some other options. But I think these numbers will help you make informed decision. If you like this entire analysis, I've done a lot of crunching here. Only request is that you like this video. And if you like this type of content, you can subscribe to my channel. Lastly, if you want to learn finance, you can join my YouTube community. I'm a SEBI registered research analyst, and whatever I speak, I use a lot of data analysis. It will help you understand nuances of investments, for example, stock market, mutual funds, various other assets. Almost on a daily basis, I write on this YouTube community. We are going to learn from each other, right? The feedback of this community has been excellent. I've been running this community for more than 3 years. So if you want to join, you can simply go to my channel, find the join button and be my guest. With that, I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, keep rocking.